And Frank, the FBI has taken over the investigation. What does that mean in a practical sense?
Yeah, Lester, this is actually mandated by regulation. It's been written long ago, and the history of it is fascinating because it anticipates the unlikely event that maybe the Secret Service would cover up an incident or even be involved in it, God forbid. So we expected the FBI to come in and take this over. What it means is the full panoply of the FBI will be involved, from high-tech crime scene analysis, but more immediately, Lester, all of the social media and computer devices of this shooter, all the interviews of his coworkers, family, neighbors, all of that, his entire life history will be reconstructed rather rapidly. And the goal here will be to see, number one, was anyone else involved? Is this part of a larger conspiracy? Was there anything that could have been done to head this off or intervene? They'll be looking at his weapon, where it came from. Was it purchased legally or not? Was he trained as a sniper ever in any profession that he may have held? And of course, what was his motive? And I caution people, don't draw conclusions. We don't know where this shooter really was coming from mentally, and that's where the FBI will be going. One of the early things they need to rule out is terrorism. They need to rule out that this wasn't a part of an international terrorism plot. So lots of things on the FBI's plate in the upcoming days and weeks.
This is, Merrick Garland has brought his team together. Is this truly a national security issue?
It clearly is. I mean, the world is watching here. They know we're all divided and polarized, and that we do tend to lean toward violence as a possible solution. This only makes things worse, not only internationally, but domestically. You've reported the RNC is starting on Monday. This is our iconic democratic process. The parties hold conventions. They pick their nominees. The question, can we do that securely and safely? And you will see changes come Monday in the planning around the RNC. So, for example, in the state of Wisconsin, you're not supposed to preclude anyone from carrying a weapon, even in a soft security zone, which is in place for the free speech and designated protest areas of the convention. I think those are going to get moved. There's also a parade route around the building for people who want to exercise free speech and assembly. That may be rethought. We're going to have to do things differently moving forward. And of course, the investigation of what went wrong here, why, if as reported is true, why was this building the shooter was on outside the perimeter when it clearly was within a sniper's range? We've got to figure that out, too.
Are you fearful, or does law enforcement look at the possibility that something like this could inspire others who may have harbored similar thoughts?
Oh, absolutely. The copycat thing here, look, sadly, we've seen it over the last couple of years, haven't we, with people kind of taking on FBI buildings, and it doesn't end well for them, like Cincinnati, Ohio, or a man who tried to swing a weapon at FBI agents in Provo, Utah, who were arresting him. This kind of thing begets more violence and revenge. So if you're going to have protest areas in Milwaukee with presumably people who are anti-Trump, can you imagine people who think in their head the answer is to seek revenge for today's event, maybe against those who are protesting against Trump? This presents quite the challenge for next week.
And as this investigation unfolds, you reminded us not to glom on to what we think may be a motive in this case. But if there are connections, outlets, for example, for outside the United States, that would turn this into a much different animal.
It sure would. And look, the FBI Director Chris Wray, for example, has been telling Congress repeatedly now that there is strong indication of a potential for an international terror attack here. He used the language that it could look like the concert hall attack in Moscow recently by ISIS-K. Recently, the FBI arrested 8 men who migrated over the southern border from Tajikistan who are affiliated with ISIS-K. So, you know, that is an ongoing concern, and the FBI is going to work quickly to try and put that angle to rest.
And the digital trail, we've seen that emerge in similar things before. Will that be the tell-all, essentially?
Today, people just vent all of their motives and frustrations online, and my guess is this will be the case here. We'll know pretty quickly, even through family interviews as well as social media, where this individual was coming from in terms of mindset.
All right, we continue to get video from the aftermath. You see people who were wounded, perhaps, or somehow otherwise injured there being treated in the confusion, the aftermath of all this. There's still photos, including ones like this, that have certainly gone viral among many of Donald Trump's supporters after he has survived what is an apparent assassination attempt in Pennsylvania today at a rally. This is the shot, the iconic shot now of the former president being whisked away to the safety of his vehicle. We're coming up at the top of the hour. We're going to take a very brief pause for some of our stations to start their local coverage. For others, Hallie Jackson will pick up the coverage in just a moment.
For our viewers just joining us, we are on the air with breaking news on this NBC News special report, a shooting at Donald Trump's Pennsylvania campaign rally. The former president has been hurt in an apparent assassination attempt. The Secret Service says the president is safe and that the shooter is dead. Tonight, Donald Trump is posting on Truth Social, his platform online, that he was hit with a bullet that he says pierced the upper part of his right ear. He said he felt it ripping through his skin. We have a lot to get to, but I want to pause here. We're going to roll the video of what happened just after 6 p.m. here on the East Coast while Mr. Trump was speaking. I want you to listen closely also to the sound of the shots and what you hear in the moments right after that until Mr. Trump is rushed into his motorcade. Watch.
A little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Move to spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you.
Ready?
Move.
Up.
Move. Go.
Up. Hawkeye's here.
Hawkeye's here. Move it to the spare.
Spare, get ready. Spare, get ready.
We ready?
Shooter's down. Shooter's down.
Are we good?
Shooter's down.
Shooter's down. Are we good to move?
Shooter's down. We're good to move.
Clear.
We're
Let's
clear.
move.
We're clear.
Let's move.
We're clear.
Come on.
Let me get my shoes. Let me get my shoes.
I got you, sir. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes, sir.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we got to move to the bus. Move to the bus. Let me get my shoes.
Okay. My shoes down. My shoes.
Watch out.
Wait.
You see that fist in the air from former President Trump as he is taken into his motorcade and then taken away. This is a map, the approximate area of the stage where Mr. Trump was shot and the location of the suspected gunman's body. Here's what we know right now, that suspected shooter fired a weapon from a roof outside the perimeter of the rally. So he was outside the Secret Service security area. The alleged gunman is dead. Also, a spectator who was attending the rally has been killed. 2 other spectators were badly hurt. President Biden has spoken with Mr. Trump. He is returning right now to the White House from Delaware, where earlier this evening, the president addressed the nation.
But the bottom line is that the Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. And everybody must condemn it. Everybody.
Former President Trump has put out a statement extending his condolences to the loved ones of the rally-goer who was killed and to the others who were hurt. He also thanked law enforcement and first responders for their quick action and says he looks forward to the Republican convention in Milwaukee that is set to begin on Monday. I want to bring in now NBC's Dasha Burns, who was at that rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. She was there when the shots were fired. Dasha, bring us up to speed as to where things stand now, what we know about the whereabouts of the former president, and what happens from here.
Hallie, as reporters in this day and age, you and I both know we cover shootings. It is a modern day reality. It is very rare, though, and certainly has never happened to me, that we, instead of going to the scene in the aftermath, we are actually there on site and witnessing all of this. We were there, our team, in the moments when the shots rang out. I can walk you through just briefly to give you a sense of what it was like in the crowd there. There was a transition of emotions from chaos and fear and confusion to you will see and hear in that video that you've been playing, once the former president puts his fist up into the air, then cheers and trying to figure out what exactly happened. We are now in the parking lot outside of the venue. We've been here for hours. Earlier, we showed you a massive traffic jam. Thousands and thousands of cars were in this parking lot, thousands of people at this rally coming to what they thought was going to be a typical Trump rally, a typical political rally. That is, of course, not what they experienced. We've been talking to witnesses here, sharing our own experience with them and hearing from them as well. I want you to take a listen to some of the conversations that I've had. Joe and Donna, a mother-son, who say that they were right there. They were in the area where this happened. Donna, let me start with you. First of all, are you okay?
Yes, I'm shook. I'm definitely shook up, but I'm okay. Yeah, and Trump was talking, watching him. I heard pop, pop, pop. I thought it was like a cap gun. And my son's like, gun, get down. And next thing you know, everybody around us was down. And then once we got down, we was up at the top of our bleacher. The men were yelling to all the snipers and all the cops to come over because he had shot a man and a woman in our bleacher. We heard the one is very fatal. We don't know that for sure, but they were down. They went out on grenades.
So Joe, what exactly did you see? Because from our vantage point, we couldn't see what was going on. We didn't see any individuals. All we could do was listen for those sounds. But what did you see?
Again, I was watching the president, and you hear the gunshots go off. Remarks from up top said that the shooter actually climbed up the back of the bleacher. And after we got down, like my mom said, there was 2 people down. They were calling for medics. We did see the 2 people that were shot, and we saw them get carried out. Like, I don't know. The one didn't look like they were okay. I hope the other one's okay, and just may God watch over them tonight.
And Dawn, you said 2 people. Were these 2 people fellow attendees of the rally? And what kind of did you see them get shot directly, or did you just see the aftermath?
No, you just heard the noise. You heard the pop, 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 seeing the aftermath. And neither of them looked good. They were both down. Nobody was talking. Nobody was moving.
What was going through your mind as you were witnessing all of this?
Are they still here? And am I going to get shot? That's what's going through my mind. He's holding my hand, and we were going to get up and try to get out of here. And some gentleman there said, no, you stay down. So we stayed down, and then we finally heard everybody evacuate, and he grabbed my hand, and we got out of there.
And Joe, what was your state of mind coming into this rally today? What were you expecting, and what are you feeling now as we all experienced a day that none of us thought would come?
Well, I was excited. I mean, this is just our second rally, and the first one, Trump is very energetic when he comes to these, and now I want to vote for him more than ever.
Why is that?
Just to send a message to these people. They can't stop us.
Don't stop us. That's right.
Dawn, how are you feeling? I mean, you're here with your son. Of course, you want to protect your baby, and you don't want them or yourself to be in any danger. What were those mama instincts in that moment, and how are you feeling right now?
Exactly. My mama instincts were when he grabbed my hand, I knew my son was scared to death because he was holding my hand. He had held my hand since he was probably 5 or 6 years old. And so he held on to my hand, and my you can imagine. My heart went into a million pieces. All I kept thinking was we got to be safe and get out of here. And I agree with Joe. Vote for Trump because this country got to get back in line. This is out of control.
How did you get out ultimately? How did you get here to safety?
That once they evacuated us, because right where we were sitting, we were able to just keep on going. We actually watched the snipers and everybody over on the side for a few minutes, but we just got out of there. We were scared.
What did you see from your vantage point of the snipers? These were the people protecting the former president.
That's correct. And now they were over in the lawn. They just were watching every single person with their guns going by. I believe the one injured person was over there that they had. Wasn't he on the one on the ground?
Yeah, so before they evacuated, they carried the 2 injured people out. Then they yelled for us to get evacuated. At that point, all the Secret Service were up in our section with the guns, and they were all in the field. Because like I said, rumor was he climbed up the back of our bleacher.
Hallie, I also spoke to a gentleman who was right next to the person who was shot and killed at this rally. He was an OBGYN, a doctor who said he actually helped to carry that man out of the venue, describing that harrowing scene to us. So many people witnessed this tragedy today and are trying to wrap their minds around what happened. The sun has set here, but the reality is still dawning on all of us that were in that rally, what we witnessed and what this is going to mean for the future of this country, for the future of this campaign, for the future of this election. We know the former president has posted on Truth Social that he's okay. He's been injured in his right ear. He did send condolences to the family of the person who was injured fatally. This is something that, of course, President Biden has spoken about as well. The two of them have spoken. And now we're just 48 hours from the Republican National Convention, a massive event and an event where security was already a concern. And now it remains to be seen just what this means for the protection around the former president, certainly to be escalated after this, Hallie.
Dasha Burns live for us there. Dasha, thank you so much. I want to go to our investigative correspondent, Tom Winter, who's with us. And Tom, you've got some new details on how this shooting took place. What can you tell us?
I can, Hallie, but first I think we should get to some additional information that myself and my colleagues have been learning, and including our colleagues Jonathan Deans and Dan DeLuce. The individual who is believed to have tried to shoot former President Trump is somebody who is not a foreign national. There's no nexus here, we've been told, to any sort of foreign national or foreign country. Separately, it's possible this person could be from the general western part of Pennsylvania, and we're in the process of hunting that down now, and obviously we'll continue to report and get as much detail as possible. As far as the location of where this alleged shooter was, we just saw the video, and it's incredible video of the former president being taken from the stage. And you can see here now on the map, you call it 148 yards, 150, 130, but generally put, these are the two locations where these individuals were located. That's a manufacturing company on the left-hand side of your screen and a roof that belongs to that, at least according to a Google search. We haven't been able to reach that particular firm yet to confirm the details of that. And then you can see where the stage was set up today for the rally. Now, the Secret Service's perimeter is, of course, and you know this very well, Hallie, from your time on covering so many various campaigns, you can't bring in a weapon. You're going to be searched. There's magnetometers. There's people to check you. But it appears that this was outside, and we are told from the Secret Service this was outside of their area where they would have checked people. Now, there is video of snipers on a roof who appear to notice or fire at this individual, and we're in the process of confirming some of the details of that video before we show it to you, just to make sure. But if that video is accurate, it does show the counter sniper team. So these are Secret Service agents or part of federal law enforcement that are, their job is to try to look for somebody like this, identify them, and if need be, take that individual out. And it appears that that was part of what happened here today. But you can see how close this was to the stage, and you can see how all this happened. We had video moments ago, or earlier, I should say, that showed this rooftop top, here it is. The blurred object there is the body of the alleged shooter, who's believed to be there. It is a man. We've reported that previously, and the individual appears to be wearing some sort of a tan camouflage pant, Hallie, but it's difficult to make out a lot of details about them from what we've seen. So that's kind of the latest on this investigation, which is moving quickly. As we've reported, the FBI director has personally briefed the President of the United States, Joe Biden, and he's also talked to the National Security Council and the National Security Advisor about this investigation and plans to continue those updates, obviously, over the course of the next several hours and days.